Let us begin by doing something very simple. Subscribe and press the bell icon, that's it. Now, close your eyes just for a moment. Feel the weight of your own body pressing down into the surface beneath you. Notice the gentle rhythm of your breath, the subtle rise and fall of your chest, the quiet hum of the world outside this room slowly fading into a soft, distant murmur. Now imagine that your body is becoming lighter, not in a sudden or startling way, but gradually, as if the gravity that holds you to the earth is slowly loosening its ancient grip. Your bones are no longer heavy. Your muscles are no longer tense. Your limbs are stretching out, not with effort, but with a natural, effortless elongation. Your arms are becoming wings, long and broad and covered in thousands of feathers, each one perfectly shaped to catch the invisible currents of the air. Your spine is lengthening, your neck is becoming more flexible, and your eyes are growing larger, rounder, more brilliant. The world is no longer at eye level. It is far, far below you. You are rising, you are ascending. You are leaving behind the familiar landscape of human perception and entering the vast, silent, breathtaking domain of the eagle. The air is cool up here. The wind speaks in a language that has no words, only the soft, continuous sigh of motion. You are not just watching the world, you are seeing it. For the very first time, you are seeing it as an eagle sees it. And what you are about to discover is not just a story of sharper vision or clearer detail. It is a story of a completely different universe, a universe painted in colors you have never even imagined, a universe where light itself is a tool, a weapon, and a doorway to a reality that lies just beyond the reach of human senses. This is the natural history of the eagle's eye. This is the evolutionary masterpiece that has allowed these magnificent creatures to rule the skies for over 50 million years. This is the story of how they see the world, and how that vision has shaped the myths, legends, and civilizations of humanity since the very dawn of recorded time. So let your mind float. Let your thoughts become as soft and weightless as the downy feathers on a fledgling's breast. Let the gentle rhythm of this narration carry you, like a thermal current, higher and higher, until the cares of your day are nothing more than tiny specks on a distant landscape. We are going to travel together, slowly, deliberately, and in perfect peace, into the heart of the raptor's gaze. We will explore the anatomy of the eye, the physics of light, the chemistry of color, and the deep, intertwined history between eagles and the human imagination. We will visit the temples of ancient Egypt, the battlefields of the Roman Empire, the sacred hunting grounds of the Native American plains, and the cutting-edge laboratories of modern neuroscience. We will learn how the eagle can spot a rabbit from 3 miles away, how it can see the invisible ultraviolet trails left by its prey, and how its brain processes visual information at a speed that would overwhelm any human mind. But we will do all of this without hurry, without stress, without the jarring sounds of alarms or the harsh glare of screens. We will do it in the soft, amber glow of a setting sun, high above the clouds, where the only sounds are the whisper of the wind and the steady, powerful beat of your own wings. So take a deep breath, a slow, deep, calming breath, and let it out with a long, gentle sigh. You are an eagle now. You are soaring over the edge of a canyon, hundreds of feet above a winding river that glints like a ribbon of liquid silver. You can see every tree, every rock, every shadow, every movement. The world below is a living tapestry, woven with threads of color and light that most creatures can never perceive. And you, with your golden eyes, are about to see it all. Let us now begin our descent into the remarkable machinery of the eagle's eye. Unlike the human eye, which is roughly spherical and set deep within the protective socket of the skull, the eagle's eye is elongated and cylindrical, shaped more like a telescope than a simple orb. This elongated shape allows the lens to be positioned much further from the retina, increasing the focal length and creating a much larger, much sharper image on the back of the eye. In fact, the eagle's eye is so large that it takes up nearly half of the space inside its skull. There is very little room for anything else. The brain is relatively small, but it is exquisitely wired to process the torrent of visual information that the eyes provide. If the human eye were proportionally as large as an eagle's, our eyes would be the size of grapefruits, and our skulls would have to be enormous to accommodate them. The eagle does not need to move its eyes very much because its eyes are fixed in their sockets. Instead, it moves its entire head, rotating it up to 180 degrees to scan the horizon. This is why eagles have such a distinctive, regal posture. They are always turning, always tilting, always adjusting their perspective to catch the perfect angle of light. At the very center of the eagle's eye is the fovea, a tiny, specialized depression in the retina that is packed with cone cells. The human eye has one fovea in each eye, and it provides our sharpest central vision. The eagle, however, has two foveas in each eye. One is for looking straight ahead, and the other is angled forward for a wider field of view. This allows the eagle to see both distance and depth with incredible precision. The central fovea allows the eagle to see its prey in razor-sharp detail from extreme distances, while the second fovea provides a wider, more panoramic view that helps it detect movement on the periphery. But the true magic of the eagle's eye lies not in its shape, nor in its multiple foveas, but in its incredible density of photoreceptor cells. The human retina contains about 200,000 photoreceptors per square millimeter. The eagle's retina contains over 1 million. That is 5 times the density. It is like comparing a standard-definition television from the 1980s with a modern 8-kilogram high-definition digital cinema screen. The eagle does not simply see more. It sees a world that is richer, more textured, and infinitely more detailed than anything we could ever hope to perceive. Imagine looking at a forest and being able to count every single leaf on every single tree, not as a blur, but as distinct, individual shapes. Imagine looking at a field of grass and seeing each blade, not as a green carpet, but as a forest of tiny individual spears. This is the world of the eagle, but there is another, even more astonishing layer to this story. It is the layer of color, and that, gentle listener, is where our journey becomes truly extraordinary. We humans are proud of our color vision. We look at a sunset with its fiery reds, oranges, and yellows, and we believe we are seeing the full glory of the natural world. We look at a field of flowers with its vibrant purples, blues, and pinks, and we think we are witnessing the complete spectrum of beauty. But we are, in fact, colorblind compared to the eagle. The human eye contains 3 types of cone cells, each sensitive to a different range of wavelengths. We see red, green, and blue. This is known as trichromatic vision. It is the same color vision that is found in most primates, but the eagle possesses 4 types of cone cells. It is tetrachromatic. In addition to red, green, and blue, the eagle can see ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light has a shorter wavelength than visible light, and it is invisible to the human eye. But to the eagle, it is as clear as daylight. This ability to see ultraviolet light opens up an entirely new dimension of perception. For example, many small mammals, such as voles and mice, have urine trails that reflect ultraviolet light. To the eagle soaring high above a meadow, these trails appear as bright fluorescent paths, leading directly to the hidden nests and burrows of its prey. It is not hunting by sight alone. It is hunting by a kind of visual echolocation, following the invisible breadcrumbs that its prey leaves behind. But the eagle's ultraviolet vision goes far beyond hunting. It also plays a crucial role in social signaling and mating. Many birds have feathers that reflect ultraviolet light, patterns that are completely invisible to the human eye. To another eagle, these patterns are a dazzling display of health, vitality, and genetic fitness. When a male eagle displays its plumage to a female, it is not just showing her its brown and white feathers. It is showing her a riot of ultraviolet colors, a secret language of light that only they can understand. And consider the visual acuity combined with this tetrachromatic vision. The eagle can see a rabbit from 3 miles away. Not just as a gray blob, but as a detailed, colorful creature, highlighted with ultraviolet markings that betray its presence. It can see the tiny movements of its prey's breathing, the twitch of an ear, the blink of an eye, all from a distance that would seem impossible to our limited human senses. This is the power of the eagle's eye. It is a portal into a world that we can only imagine through the lens of science and technology. But how did this incredible eye come to be? What forces of evolution sculpted this masterpiece of nature? The answer lies deep in the distant past, in a time when the earth was ruled by creatures that walked on 2 legs and shook the ground with every step. The story of the eagle's eye begins more than 100 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period. At that time, the ancestors of modern birds were small, feathered dinosaurs that lived in the shadows of the giants. They were not yet the masters of the sky. They were modest, tree-dwelling creatures that used their feathers for warmth, for display, and perhaps for short, clumsy glides between branches. But somewhere along the evolutionary timeline, a series of extraordinary changes began to occur. The The bones of these protobirds became lighter and more hollow. Their forelimbs elongated and transformed into wings. Their tails shortened and stiffened into rudders. And their eyes began to grow larger and more sophisticated. The first birds were not born with the eyes of an eagle. Their vision was likely similar to that of modern reptiles, capable of seeing color and motion, but lacking the sharp detail and the ultraviolet sensitivity that we see today. The development of the eagle's eye was a gradual process, driven by the relentless pressure of natural selection. The birds that could see better could hunt better. The birds that could see more colors could find better mates. The birds that could detect ultraviolet light could find food and avoid predators more effectively. Over millions of years, the eye of the raptor became more specialized, more refined, and more powerful. The eagles, as we know them today, belong to the family Accipitridae, which includes eagles, hawks, kites, and Old World vultures. This family emerged around 50 million years ago during the Eocene epoch. The earliest eagles were likely much smaller than their modern descendants, and their eyes were not yet fully adapted for extreme long-distance vision. But over time, as the climate changed and the continents drifted, these early raptors diversified and filled every ecological niche that offered a view from above. The development of the eagle's eye is a testament to the power of evolution. It was not designed by a conscious creator. It was shaped by trial and error, by the slow accumulation of beneficial mutations, and by the millions of generations of eagles that lived, hunted, and died. Each generation refined the vision of the next. The eagles that could spot a fish from 100 feet above the water caught more food and had more offspring. The eagles that could see a snake hiding in the grass from a mile away avoided danger and passed their genes on to the next generation. This is the slow, patient process of evolution, a process that has no end goal, no final destination, but that simply adapts to the changing conditions of the world. And as the eagles adapted, so too did their relationship with the most dominant species on Earth, humanity. For as long as humans have walked the Earth, we have looked up at the eagles with a mixture of awe, reverence, and envy. We have seen their power, their freedom, and their terrible vision, and we have woven them into the very fabric of our religions, our empires, and our dreams. The ancient Egyptians were among the first people to incorporate the eagle into their spiritual cosmology. The god Horus, the sky god, was often depicted as a falcon or an eagle, with a single eye that represented the sun and the moon. The eye of Horus, known as the Wadjet, was a symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. It was believed to possess magical healing properties and was often worn as an amulet. But the Egyptians were not just symbolically interested in the eagle's vision. They were practical observers of nature, and they recognized that the eagle could see things that humans could not. They observed the eagle's ability to soar to great heights and to spot prey from incredible distances. They saw the eagle's piercing golden eye and believed that it could see into the future, into the hearts of men, and into the hidden mysteries of the afterlife. In their mythology, the eagle was a messenger between the world of the living and the world of the dead. It carried the souls of pharaohs up to the heavens, where they could join the eternal parade of stars. The eagle's vision was seen as a metaphor for divine omniscience, the all-seeing eye that watched over the world and judged the deeds of mortals. The Romans, on the other hand, took the eagle's power and turned it into a symbol of military might. The Roman legion, the most formidable fighting force of the ancient world, carried the eagle's standard, the aquila, into battle. The aquila was not just a flag. It was a sacred object, a symbol of the legion's honor, discipline, and indomitable spirit. Losing the aquila to the enemy was the greatest shame that a Roman legion could suffer. It was a catastrophe that could lead to the disbandment of the legion itself. The Romans believed that the eagle was the king of birds, and that its ferocity, its bravery, and its sharp vision were qualities that every Roman soldier should emulate. The eagle could see the enemy from afar, anticipate their movements, and strike with deadly precision. This was the ideal of the Roman soldier, to be vigilant, to be sharp-eyed, and to be unstoppable. But the eagle's role in the ancient world was not limited to Egypt and Rome. In Greek mythology, the eagle was the sacred bird of Zeus, the king of the gods. It was Zeus who sent the eagle to snatch the beautiful youth Ganymede and carry him to Mount Olympus to be the cupbearer of the gods. The eagle was also a symbol of prophecy. In the ancient world, priests and oracles would study the flight of eagles to divine the will of the gods. The direction of their flight, the movement of their wings, and the speed of their ascent were all interpreted as signs that could predict the outcome of wars, the health of kings, and the fate of nations. And in the distant land of Persia, the eagle was the emblem of the Sasanian Empire, symbolizing the king's sovereignty over the earth and the heavens. The eagle's vision was a metaphor for the king's wisdom and justice, the idea that he could see everything that happened in his vast empire and could distinguish between right and wrong with the clarity of a predator. As we drift further into the realm of the eagle, we must also consider the Native American traditions of the Great Plains. For the Native Americans, the eagle was not just a symbol of power. It was a sacred teacher, a spiritual guide that connected the earth to the heavens. The eagle's feathers were, and continue to be, the highest honor a warrior can earn. The eagle's vision was seen as a gift of enlightenment, a way of seeing the world not just with the eyes, but with the heart. The eagle could look upon the sun without flinching, and its courage was a lesson for all who sought to live a life of integrity and purpose. Every culture, every civilization, every tribe that lived alongside the eagle was captivated by its gaze. They knew instinctively that there was something profoundly different about the way this creature perceived the world. They could not see the ultraviolet light, they could not count the leaves on a distant tree, but they could feel the power in that golden eye, a power that transcended the physical and touched the very soul of existence. Let us now descend from the lofty heights of mythology and return to the science, but let us do so gently, slowly, like a soft landing on a rocky ledge. The eagle's ability to see the world with such astonishing clarity is fundamentally a matter of physics. Light, as you may know, travels in waves. The human eye is sensitive to a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, the portion we call visible light. But the eagle's eye is sensitive to a much broader range of these waves. The ability to see ultraviolet light is not just a neat trick. It is a profound adaptation that changes the very nature of the eagle's reality. Consider the phenomenon of polarized light. Light waves normally vibrate in all directions, but when they reflect off surfaces like water, glass, or the slick feathers of a bird, they become polarized, meaning they vibrate in a single plane. Human eyes are not very sensitive to polarized light, but the eagle's eye is exquisitely sensitive to it. This allows the eagle to see through the glare that blinds us. When an eagle looks down at a lake, it can see through the reflections on the surface to spot fish swimming beneath the water. It can see the subtle differences in moisture on the ground, which can indicate the presence of a hidden spring or the trail of a large animal. This sensitivity to polarized light is another tool in the eagle's visual arsenal, a tool that makes it an even more effective hunter. But there is another aspect of the eagle's vision that is often overlooked, and that is its ability to perceive motion at a much faster frame rate than humans. The human eye can process about 60 frames per second. Beyond that, we perceive motion as a continuous flow. The eagle's eye, however, can process more than 120 frames per second. This means that to an eagle, the world moves in slow motion. A rabbit running at full speed through the grass appears to the eagle as if it is moving in a leisurely lope. A snake striking at a mouse is seen with such fine temporal resolution that the eagle can anticipate the strike and intercept it. This is why eagles are such successful hunters. They not only see their prey from greater distances and with greater color and ultraviolet detail, but they also see the prey's movements as if time itself has slowed down. The world of the eagle is a world of crystalline clarity, both in space and in time. It is a world of intense, vibrant color, of hidden ultraviolet signals, of polarized light that reveals the secrets of the landscape, and of slow-motion action that makes every movement predictable and every strike inevitable. When we combine all of these factors, we begin to glimpse the enormity of the difference between human and eagle vision. We see a flat, static, relatively dull image. The eagle sees a dynamic, three-dimensional, hyper-detailed universe of light and motion. It sees the world not as a canvas of random shapes and colors, but as a constantly flowing, information-rich stream of data, a stream that it can interpret, analyze, and act upon with speed and precision. There is another, more poetic aspect of the eagle's vision that deserves our gentle attention. The eagle is one of the few creatures that can look directly into the sun. It does not flinch. It does not turn away. Its eye is protected by a specialized structure called the pecten, a comb-like organ that sits within the vitreous humor of the eye. The pecten is rich in blood vessels, and it is believed to provide nourishment to the inner layers of the retina. but it also serves another purpose. It helps to reduce the scattering of light within the eye, allowing the eagle to see clearly even in the brightest, most intense sunlight. This ability to look directly at the sun has given the eagle a profound symbolic importance in virtually every culture that has encountered it. The sun is the ultimate symbol of power, of divine energy, of eternal life. To look at the sun without being blinded is to show a courage and a wisdom that elevates the eagle above the rest of the animal kingdom. In many ancient myths, the eagle is the messenger of the sun god, carrying the sun's light down to earth. In Aztec mythology, the eagle was a symbol of the sun itself, and the warriors of the Aztec Empire wore eagle feathers into battle to draw upon the sun's power. In Hindu mythology, the eagle is Garuda, the mount of the god Vishnu, a being so powerful that his mere shadow could stop the rotation of the earth. Garuda is depicted with the eyes of an eagle, capable of seeing the entire universe. This connection between the eagle and the sun is not just a coincidence. It is a deep, archetypal resonance that arises from the eagle's extraordinary visual capacity. The eagle is not just a bird. It is a living embodiment of the sun's clarity, a creature that can withstand the most intense light and still see with perfect precision. And this brings us to the deep, meditative heart of our journey. When we think of the eagle, we think of freedom, of vast horizons, of the endless blue sky. But we also think of truth, of clarity, of the ability to see things as they truly are. The eagle does not see the world through a filter of emotion or prejudice. It sees the world as it is, in all its harsh beauty and brutal efficiency. This is what we, as humans, often seek. We want to see clearly. We want to cut through the confusion and find the truth. The eagle, in its golden-eyed stillness, represents that ideal. It watches, it waits, and then, with perfect certainty, it acts. Let us now spend some time considering the daily life of a wild eagle, a life defined by its eyes. The eagle wakes with the first rays of dawn. As the light begins to creep over the horizon, the eagle's eyes, which are already sensitive to the dimmest levels of light, begin to adjust. The eagle does not have excellent night vision, not as good as an owl, but it can see in the low light of dusk and dawn far better than a human can. As the sun rises, the eagle will take flight from its perch, usually a high tree or a rocky cliff ledge. It will not immediately begin to hunt. It will first spend some time surveying its territory. It will ride the thermal currents, spiraling higher and higher with an effortless grace. Its head is constantly moving, tilting, turning, scanning the ground below. From an altitude of 1,000 feet, the eagle can survey an area of several square miles. Its eyes are searching for movement, for shapes, for the ultraviolet glint of a mouse's trail, for the telltale shimmer of a fish's scales in a river. When it spots something, it does not immediately dive. It circles closer, adjusting its angle, gathering more information. It is not just looking at the prey. It is analyzing the prey's behavior. Is it moving? Is it resting? Is it aware of the eagle's presence? The eagle's eyes are so sharp that it can see the subtle tension in a rabbit's muscles, the way it twitches its nose, the rapid flutter of its heart. When the eagle finally decides to strike, it folds its wings and drops like a stone. It descends at speeds that can exceed 150 miles per hour. It is not just falling. It is calculating the trajectory, adjusting its angle, making micro-corrections based on the constant stream of visual information flowing into its brain. At the very last second, it extends its talons, its powerful, razor-sharp talons, and it strikes. The impact is catastrophic for the prey. The eagle's eyes, which track the target with perfect precision, have never let it down. After the kill, the eagle will often pause. It will look around, scanning the area for potential threats. Even when feeding, the eagle is constantly vigilant, constantly watching. Its eyes are always active, always searching for movement, always monitoring the environment. This constant vigilance is exhausting for a human, but for the eagle, it is as natural as breathing. The eagle's brain is wired for sustained attention, for long periods of focused observation. This ability is what allows the eagle to soar for hours, seemingly doing nothing, while its eyes are working at a frantic pace, processing millions of bits of information every second. As we move into the modern era, the eagle's place in the world has changed. The vast wildernesses that once were the eagle's domain have been fragmented by agriculture, cities, and highways. The eagle's prey has become scarcer, and the eagle itself has faced numerous threats from humans. Pesticides, particularly DDT, had a devastating effect on eagle populations in the mid-20th century. The chemicals poisoned the eagles, causing their eggshells to become thin and brittle so that they would crack before the chicks could hatch. The eagle's sharp vision could not see the danger in the chemicals it consumed. The eagle's incredible eyes could spot a mouse from a mile away, but they could not see the invisible toxins that were building up in its body. This is a poignant irony that we must consider. The eagle, the symbol of clear sight and divine perception, was nearly blinded by the pollutants that humans introduced into its world. But there is hope. Conservation efforts, particularly the banning of DDT in many countries, have allowed eagle populations to recover. The eagle is a resilient creature, and with our help, it can continue to soar above the earth, its golden eyes shining in the sun. Today we can watch eagles in their natural habitats, not through the lens of a hunter or a god, but through the lens of a curious observer. We can witness the majesty of their flight, the power of their strike, and the extraordinary clarity of their vision. And we can use science to understand what they see, to create artificial lenses and sensors that mimic the eagle's eye. Researchers are developing cameras and drones that use ultraviolet and polarized light. Inspired by the eagle's visual system, these technologies are being used in search and rescue operations, in environmental monitoring, and in military reconnaissance. The eagle, even in the modern age, is teaching us how to see the world, but the eagle's greatest gift to us may not be technological, it may be spiritual. When we look at an eagle, when we see its fierce, unblinking gaze, we are reminded of a world that is larger, more vibrant, and more mysterious than the small, enclosed world of our daily lives. The eagle invites us to look up, to look beyond our immediate surroundings, and to contemplate the vast expanse of the sky. The eagle reminds us that there are realms of perception, of beauty, of truth that we have yet to explore. Let us now descend a little deeper into the fascinating world of the eagle's brain. It is a common misconception that birds are simple-minded creatures, driven only by instinct. But the eagle's brain, though small, is remarkably complex. The visual cortex, the part of the brain that processes what the eyes see, takes up a much larger proportion of the eagle's brain than it does in the human brain. In humans, the visual cortex accounts for about 20% of the brain's total volume. In the eagle, it accounts for nearly 40%. This is why the eagle's brain is capable of processing the massive amounts of visual data that its eyes provide. But it is not just the size of the visual cortex that matters. It is the speed and efficiency of its processing. The eagle's brain can interpret visual information at a rate that is more than twice as fast as the human brain. This is what gives the eagle its ability to perceive motion in slow motion. The neurons in the eagle's visual cortex are firing faster, transmitting signals more quickly, and integrating information from multiple sources with incredible precision. The eagle's brain is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It is a specialized instrument, perfectly tuned to the task of survival. The eagle does not waste energy on abstract thought or complex emotions. It is present in the moment, focused on the task at hand. This is a state of consciousness that many humans strive to achieve through meditation. The eagle is naturally mindful. Its attention is fully absorbed in the world around it. When we watch an eagle soar, we are watching a mind that is at peace with itself, a mind that is completely attuned to the rhythms of nature. This is another reason why the eagle is such a powerful symbol of wisdom and vision. It embodies the ideal of focused attention, of being fully present in the here and now. The eagle does not regret the past or worry about the future. It lives in the eternal present, in the eternal now. This is the lesson of the eagle's gaze. It teaches us to pay attention, to see the world as it really is, and to act with clarity and purpose. In a world that is constantly pulling our attention in 1,000 different directions, the eagle stands as a beacon of stillness, a reminder of the power of singular focus. There are over 60 species of eagles in the world, and while they all share the same basic visual architecture, there are subtle differences in how each species uses its eyes. The golden eagle, which is found across the northern hemisphere, has some of the sharpest vision of all birds. It can spot a rabbit from over 2 miles away, and its eyes are particularly well adapted for hunting in the open terrain of mountains and plains. The bald eagle, the national bird of the United States, has slightly less acute vision than the golden eagle, but its eyes are adapted for hunting fish. The bald eagle can spot a fish from several hundred feet above the water, and its ability to see through the glare of the surface is essential for its survival. The harpy eagle of Central and South America lives in the dense rainforest, where the canopy blocks out much of the light. The harpy eagle's eyes are not as adapted for long-distance vision as the golden eagle's, but they are exquisitely sensitive to movement in low light. The harpy eagle can spot a sloth or a monkey moving through the branches of a tree, hidden by thick leaves in the dim light of the forest floor. The African fish eagle has eyes that are adapted for the bright, harsh light of the savanna. Its eyes are protected by a bony ridge that acts as a visor, shielding its eyes from the sun's glare. And the Philippine eagle, one of the rarest and most endangered eagles in the world, has eyes that are blue-gray in color, a unique adaptation that may help it hunt in the misty, cloudy forests of the Philippines. Each species of eagle has fine-tuned its eyes over millions of years to survive in its specific habitat. The eagle's eye is not a single, fixed design. It is a flexible, adaptable tool that has evolved to meet the challenges of diverse environments. This is one of the most beautiful aspects of natural history. It is a story of endless variation, of subtle tweaks and profound changes, all driven by the same basic need to see and to survive. And now, as the light begins to fade, and the sky turns from blue to orange to a deep, velvety purple, it is time for us to begin our gentle return to Earth. You have soared with the eagles. You have seen the world through their ancient golden eyes. You have witnessed the ultraviolet spectrum, the polarized light, the slow-motion dance of prey and predator. You have traveled through the myths of Egypt, the legions of Rome, the plains of the Native Americans, and the temples of India. You have descended into the neuroscience of the raptor brain and soared above the conservation efforts of the modern world. But now, the sky is growing dim. The thermals are cooling. The air is becoming still. The eagle, too, is returning to its perch. It finds a high, rocky ledge or the sturdy branch of an ancient pine tree. It folds its wings. It settles. Its eyes, which have been so active, so alert, so intensely focused, begin to close. Not fully, but slowly, lazily, slipping into a state of rest. The eagle does not sleep as deeply as a human. It is always half alert, always listening, always feeling the wind. But in this moment there is peace, there is stillness, there is a soft, deep contentment. And you too are beginning to feel that stillness. Your wings are slowly dissolving, melting back into arms and legs. The feathers are receding, leaving behind your familiar skin. The golden hue of your eyes is softening, returning to the warm brown or blue of your human gaze. You are descending slowly, gently, back into the warmth of your own body. You can feel the surface beneath you again, solid and reassuring. The distant sound of the wind is fading, replaced by the soft, gentle rhythm of your own breathing. The vast, panoramic view of the sky is closing, replaced by the intimate, cozy view of your own closed eyelids. The eagle's world was brilliant, but it was also vast and cold. Your world is smaller, but it is also warmer, softer, more human. The eagle sees the truth of the universe, but you can feel the truth of your own heart. And that is a different kind of vision, a vision that is just as profound, just as meaningful, just as essential. You do not need the eagle's eyes to see the world clearly. You only need to look with your own eyes, to see with your own heart, and to appreciate the beauty that surrounds you. The eagle's journey is over for tonight. Your journey, the journey of rest and renewal, is just beginning. The shadows are deepening. The stars are beginning to appear, faint at first, then brighter, more numerous, scattered across the darkening canvas of the sky. The night is gentle. The night is kind. And it is time to let go of all thoughts, all visions, all stories, and simply drift. Drift like a feather on a silent breeze. Drift like a cloud above a sleeping world. Drift into the soft, warm, velvety embrace of sleep. There is nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing to worry about. The eagle has returned to its nest. The world has returned to its quiet rhythm. And you are safe, warm, and utterly at peace. So close your eyes if they are not already closed. Take a final, slow, deep, calming breath. Let the tension drain from your shoulders, from your neck, from your jaw. Let your mind become as soft and quiet as a feather in the wind. Let the silence fill you. Let the night hold you. And let sleep come as naturally as the eagle takes flight, as gently as the sun sets over the horizon. Good night, gentle listener. Good night with sweet dreams.